Hello and welcome to British English with Alexandre. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today we're gonna be talking about another British English Advanced English Grammar. We're gonna be talking about Unit 21 from this excellent book, my favorite book. How lovely that is. We're talking about advanced grammar in use. This is a self-study reference and practice book for advanced learners of English by Martin Hewings from Cambridge University. So we're talking about proper English here. We're gonna go through Unit 21, and as promised, we intend to read Unit 100, where we will be achieving completing all of the grammar needed to perfect your English, your British English grammar, and to bring your English to the next level. It's necessary to understand the grammar if you want to understand proper English. Okay, before we get started, please subscribe to the channel to help it grow, to help English learners all over the world. I know that there are many English learners, English students who have been dragging on for ages trying to bring their English to the next level. Believe me, through that method, you're gonna be able to understand why it's important to say the correct pronunciation of your words, so that you can improve your vocabulary, bring it to thousands and thousands of words, because experience has shown me that by studying like that, you improve your pronunciation, your connected speech, all the things that are related to improvement in terms of English, British English properly. Okay, without any further ado, let's go through that unit. This is Unit 21. Actually, it's the beginning of a new subsection, but it's in chronological order anyway. Okay, in that unit we're talking about linking verbs. What are the linking verbs? In that case, in that lesson, we're considering the verbs be, appear, seem, become, get, etc. Okay, moving on. Onwards and upwards with our lovely grammar. Okay, this is section A. Let's go through that. When an adjective or noun phrase is used after a verb to describe the subject, or say what or who the subject is, the adjective or noun phrase is a complement and the verb is a linking verb. For example, Clara is a doctor. Who's a doctor? Clara. Clara is a doctor. So is the linking verb, and this is the complement. A doctor. Clara is a doctor. Another example, she seemed unable to concentrate. Who seemed unable to concentrate? She. She seemed unable to concentrate. So we've got the linking verbs in the previous example, is, and in the second example, seemed. So we've got linking verbs, and consequently we have a complement. And the complement can be an adjective or a noun phrase. That's the principle. So here we have other linking verbs. For example, we have being linking verbs, we have becoming linking verbs, and we have seeming linking verbs. Okay, so firstly, we've got being linking verbs. What are the being linking verbs? They're always linking verbs. For example, be, keep, repeat after me. Be, keep, prove, remain, stay. They're always linking verbs. We've got becoming linking verbs. They might become linking verbs occasionally. For example, e.g., become, come, end up. This is a phrasal verb, end up, grow, and turn out. They're becoming linking verbs. And lastly, we've got seeming linking verbs, e.g., appear, look, seem, sound. Okay, moving on. Most of these verbs can be followed by either an adjective or noun phrase, e.g., it sounds nice. It sounds nice. Does it sound nice? Does it sound nice? Yes, it sounds nice. Yes. No, it doesn't sound nice. No, it doesn't sound nice. No, it sounds nice. Another example, it sounds a nice place. It sounds what? It sounds a nice place. Does it sound a nice place? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It sounds a nice place. It sounds a nice place, doesn't it? Oh yes, it does. It does. Yeah, sounds a nice place. Okay, moving on. When they're used as linking verbs, come and grow, e.g., come to know, or grow thoughtful, can't be followed by a noun phrase. So come is followed in the first case by an infinitive verb, to know. Come to know, for example, or grow thoughtful. This is another verb. Grow thoughtful. They can be followed by a verb or another verb, but they can't be followed by a noun phrase. Those verbs in particular. So this is an exception, right? Come and grow. Pay special attention to those verbs. Okay, moving on. Also, we've got another exception. Keep. Keep is only followed by a noun if an adjective follows it. For example, e.g., it kept him awake. So we've got awake, which is an adjective. It kept him awake. Awake. It kept him awake. Okay, moving on now to section B. After the verbs appear, meaning seems true, look, meaning seem, prove, seem, and turn out, which is a phrasal verb, we can often either include or omit to be. For example, the room appears to be brighter than when I last saw it. The room appears to be brighter than when I last saw it. Or the room appears brighter than when I last saw it. We can include or omit to be in that case. However, following these verbs, to be is usually included before the adjectives alive, alone, asleep, and awake, and before the ing forms of the verbs. For example, I didn't go in because she appeared to be asleep. I didn't go in because she appeared to be asleep. Not appeared asleep, no. Before those adjectives, we need to use to be. Again, I didn't go in because she appeared to be asleep. Okay, moving on. Before a noun, we include to be when the noun tells us what the subject is, but often leave it out when we give our opinion of the person or thing in the subject. We leave out to be in formal English. Compare. He walked into what seemed to be a cave. He walked into what? He walked into what seemed to be a cave. Oh, I got it. Not what seemed a cave. No, he walked into what seemed to be a cave. So the noun tells us what the subject is. In the second example, we leave it out because we're giving our opinion of the person or thing in the subject. For example, she seems to be a very efficient salesperson, or she seems a very efficient salesperson. We're giving our opinion of the thing or person in the subject. Okay, moving on. Section C. We use the linking verb become to describe a process of change. Remember that, specifically in relation to the verb to become. You've got to have that in mind. We're talking about a process of change. Become a process of change. Become is about a process of change. Remember that. A number of other linking verbs can be used instead of become, including come, get, go, grow, turn, or turn into. Now, we use get rather than become. In informal speech and writing before difficult, ill, interested, pregnant, suspicious, unhappy, and worried. Also, in imperatives and in phrases such as get changed clothes, get dressed, get married, or get divorced. For example, I first got suspicious when he looked into all the cars. Again, I first got suspicious when he looked into all the cars. More formally, we might use the verb to become. For example, I first became suspicious when he looked into all the cars. But less formally, I first got suspicious when he looked into all the cars. Another example, don't get upset about it. Don't get upset about it. Don't get upset about it. The other example, where did you live before you got married? Where did you live before you got married? Where did you live before you got married? Okay, moving on. We prefer become to talk about a more abstract or technical process of change. For example, he became recognized as an expert. He became recognized as an expert. Another example, their bodies have become adapted to high altitudes. Their bodies have become adapted to high altitudes. Their bodies have become adapted to what? To high altitudes. What have become adapted to high altitudes? Their bodies. Their bodies have become adapted to high altitudes. Moving on. We use become, not get, if there's a noun phrase after the linking verb. For example, Dr. Morales became an advisor to the government. He became what? He became an advisor to the government. Dr. Morales, yes. Yes, he did. He became an advisor to the government. We can use that pattern with those adjectives. Also with these adjectives. For example, apparent, aware, convinced, infected, irrelevant, and obvious. Okay, moving on now to section D. We use go or turn, not usually get or become, when we talk about colors changing. For example, the traffic lights turned green and I pulled away, or the traffic lights went green and I pulled away. We often use go to talk about changes, particularly for unwanted situations. For example, and I'd like to call your attention to that because it's crucial in English. Please check those words, those phrasal verbs in the dictionary later because they're really important, those constructions. For example, there's even a child in music. I'm really bad for music, but I can remember a sort of music where the musician goes, for example, the children on the bus go blah 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 blah. So to go something, it's really constructive. It's really used in English. For example, you might go deaf. If you might go deaf, you can't hear anything. To go deaf. To go deaf. You might go blind. You can't see anything. You might go bald. No hair. Up. No hair above your head. You might go bald. You might go mad like that. You might go mad, crazy, or you might go wild like a lion. Wow. You might go wild. Or for example, something might go bad. You might go off. You might go off. Some fruit might go moldy. If something goes moldy, it gets mold. Or for example, an apple might go rotten. If it goes rotten, you've got to put it in the trash bin, in the rubbish. A company, an enterprise might go bust. If a company goes bust, it has no money, it's broken. Something might go dead. Or for example, another phrasal verb, go missing, or something might go wrong. But note, you might say get you, get you, get you, get old, or get tired. So pay attention, check those phrasal verbs when you have some time. They're really, really important and they're used all the time. It's crucial to know those phrasal verbs in particular. Please double attention to those collocations, those phrasal verbs, so you can bring your English to the advanced level or even higher. Okay, so we've got some examples here. The company went bust and had to close. It's bankruptcy. The company went bust and had to close. Another example, my computer's gone wrong again. My computer has gone wrong again. My computer's gone wrong again. Another example, some people get you very easily. Pay attention to how I say that. Get you, not get you. Some people get you very easily. We say, this is connected to speech, right? We say, some people get you very easily. Who get you very easily? Some people. Yeah. Some people do get you very easily. Okay, after the verbs come, get, and grow, but not after become, notice that we give preference to short verbs. So, after the verbs come, get, and grow, but not after become, we can use it to infinitive. Come and grow are often used to talk about gradual change. For example, I eventually came to appreciate his work. I eventually came to appreciate his work. Or, I eventually grew to appreciate his work. I eventually grew to appreciate his work. Not I eventually became to appreciate his work. No, we use come and grow in that case. Okay, and that brings us to the end of that lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel, share the content with your friends, English learners, English speakers all over the world. Actually, this is a really effective way to improve your English, your pronunciation, your connected speech, your vocabulary. You might be able to learn more than 6, 7, 8,000 words by studying like that. You're learning English in a way that's really effective because you're increasing your vocabulary. You're learning new words, word stress, sentence stress, connected speech, pronunciation. You're learning proper English from our advanced grammar and news from Cambridge University. In a short period of time, you're gonna notice that your English is improving and you might be able to understand native English speakers and even express your thoughts, your ideas in English much more easily, believe me. So please, subscribe to the channel, and that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs like. That's it. Have a lovely weekend. Cheers.